Running the wheel strategy, please don't make these 3 expensive mistakes I have. Yo, what's going on, premium chasers? I hope you're having a God blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below, and this one's going out to all you degens out there, is going to get our leveraged ETF playbook, which is going to show you a kind of safer way to trade leveraged ETFs and sell options on them. Every person that drops a comment down below, I'll personally respond back to you with that. And while you're down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm dropping the heat here for you guys today with some of the mistakes that I have made with the wheel strategy. This video is a bit long overdue, and it's going to assume that you've traded the wheel strategy a few times, okay? So it's going to be a little bit more advanced, but nothing crazy that you guys can't handle. So let's get right into it, guys. The first one, right, that I used to do a lot, now I don't really do at all, right, is babying my covered calls, okay? So as you guys know, with a covered call, right, let's just use NVIDIA today as our example, right, we usually are obviously selecting a strike price above our cost basis. So let's assume, right, we're going to do some covered calls on NVIDIA, and it's currently trading around 160. Let's just use for our example purposes, we own 100 shares of NVIDIA at like 110, right? Like we own 100 shares at like 110, right? Which is kind of close to the current market value, right? We'll just say that. So now you come in here to your options chain and you're like, you know what? I'm willing to sell my 100 shares 35 days from now at 120, and we're going to collect $600 per contract. Obviously, this is for example purposes. At the time of these recordings, these results vary, not financial advice, right? But we're going to go toss this into our covered call calculator here, and we would be collecting $600 in premium. The strike of the option that we're willing to sell our 100 shares for, we're saying is 120, right? In our example here, we're saying we own 100 shares at 110, right? We have our, let's say our cost basis for 100 shares is 110. All of these calculators, guys, all this stuff is free here on the channel, okay? It's all inside of our Facebook group. The link will be in the description. Like I say all the time, the only thing that costs money is if you want some one-on-one time, and that link is in the description if it's interested. But again, everything is free. I want you guys to go use this stuff, right? So what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at about a 5.5% premium return in this example, right? For the potential profit of selling our shares of $1,000 if we end up selling them, right? And a nice total profit of $1,600 if we end up selling those shares, right? So that's fantastic. So what am I talking about when I say babying my covered calls? Well, what I mean by that is previously I would close out my covered calls when I capture about 80%, 70 to 90, really 70, 90% of the premium, right? But what I found over time is it's really not worth it, right? It's truly not worth it, right? I would now focus on just most of the time I'll just let all of my covered calls go to expiration. Why do I do that? Well, because the purpose of the wheel strategy, in my opinion, it may not be your strategy, but for me, I want to capture appreciation. I want to actually sell my shares, right? Why do I want to sell my shares? Because when I sell my shares, I am capturing all of my money that I put into that cash secured put, right? My collateral, right? Let's say I did get assigned, I had a cash secured put before this, and I got assigned in NVIDIA at 110, right? And then I had $11,000 taken from me, right? And I want to get that $11,000 back, right? I want to get that money back from my cash secured put. Plus, I want to capture the $1,000 extra that I would get if I sell my shares. So I let these covered calls usually always ride because I want to get all that collateral back to use a different opportunity. And what I've seen a lot of people do, and it's totally fine if it's your strategy, I'm just telling you what I have found works best for my current situation, is I like to get them to expiration, because you never know, especially in this market, the moves we see, is get them sold, get my money back, and then I can go and run the covered call or a cash secured put on a different opportunity. So that's number one, at least for me, that you may want to consider for your own strategy, right? Then now we're going to talk about cash secured puts, okay? Because there's a couple mistakes I've made here for a really, really long time. So let's just use NVIDIA, and let's say we have a put right here for NVIDIA at, let's say, 110. We'll just use our example. Right here, we're collecting 460 in this example at the time of this recording. Right? I got to say it, guys, this is not a guarantee of results, right? This is all fictitious examples, right? So we're collecting $460 in premium here. We have to put up money, right? $11,000 in collateral here, right? All right, which gives us a premium return of 4 or a little over 4%. Our expiration here is 35 days, and I always like to put this 35 days here from here. And then it should this calculator is again available in the Facebook, but this basically showed you how many trades you can do in a year if you were able to do it. Now, most of the time that doesn't happen, right? But I just use this as a educational example, and at least for me when I'm potentially closing out this trade, right? So number one, cash secured puts. I usually like to close those out before expiration. Like, especially in the market that we're living in right now, guys, like we can see crazy things happen in a matter of a day. One headline and the market's down 5 to 10%, right? Which could potentially cause assignment, right? With cash secured puts, I know, flip side of covered calls, I will baby my cash secured puts a lot more, right? I will try to always close out these positions once I've locked in about 80% of that premium collected, okay? Now, kind of like part two of this mistake is, right, especially with this crazy times we're living in, there's sometimes are opportunities, right, where we're able to close out our cash secured put in a matter of days, right, because of the price swings that we've been seeing lately, especially with a company like Nvidia, where one day it's down to 90 and the next day it's back at 110, right? Like, it's kind of insane, right? So when that happens in a matter of days, I will consider closing that position out even sooner. Right? Even sooner. If I can do, like, if I look at my return, what I'm getting, and it makes sense for my current situation, I'll close it out. So let's say, we have a cash secured put on Nvidia right now. We have our, for a 110, right? And let's say Nvidia shoots up to like 130 in like 3-4 days, right? Which again, isn't unheard of. We've seen these kind of moves happen. And let's say it does happen. It doesn't happen all the time. It would be amazing if it does. Let's say that you can give back about $100 of this premium, right? That you collected up front, right? Well, let's say we give back 100 of that. Now that obviously shrinks our return on the trade, but now we're now freed. We freed up our collateral back to go look at a different opportunity, right? Like that's the way I like to look at it. Because if I see these massive price swings, guys, I'm scared, right? I'm scared. I'm not like all excited about it because I usually see what usually happens after a massive spike up. We usually see some sort of retraction at that point. So if it's like 2-3 days or even 5 days, and I'm able to capture a great return, I'll close that thing out, right? I'll close that thing out right away. Even if I had to give $200 back, right? Even if I give $200 back and this return matches my investment profile, my investment risk, and what I'm willing to do, right? And my goals, right? Then I will do it. And I stress that a lot on this channel because this is about you building a strategy that works for you. What are your targets that you're going for, right? One thing I have found, guys, is traders, when you start getting greedy, right, and you start being a little degenerate, you're going to get burned, right? Listen, there's so much power, I tell you, and some of you guys are going to go crazy on me for this one, but there's so much power if you hit your target, whatever it is in your strategy, and you do it, let's say in the first week of the month, to literally take these hands and sit on them and not do anything, because not doing anything is a position, right? And some of you, especially option sellers, we don't trade a lot. Our goal isn't to trade a lot. It's to be patient. It's to be patient and wait for setups to actually show up. And then management is so key. I can't stress it enough. Managing your trades and that confidence of managing your trades only comes with time. There's no other way around it. No YouTube video I can shoot for you, right? There's nothing I can tell you, right? That's going to build your confidence up. Now, again, everything here on the channel I do for educational content, so you learn from mistakes, you learn the strategy. But dude, I'm telling you, you will learn way more by actually doing and managing your positions. But you can't manage a position if you don't have a plan. How do you know what you're doing if you don't know where you're going? Where's my juice button? We going off on this Friday. I am shooting this on Friday. I don't know when this is coming out, but man, let's get an amen in the comments, guys. We'll get you over that leverage ETF playbook as well for everybody that comments. Man, where am I at now? So now two more. Okay. These are big. Can't stress this enough. Earnings. Some of you don't, again, you have no plan. You don't know what you're doing. You got financial advice from a YouTuber and you're like, he told me I should go into SoundHound. I'm doing it. I'm dumping my kid's fund and my Roth into this thing, right? So, some of you are. Like, that's the sad part. Some of you I'm directly speaking to, you know who you are and you're blushing right now. So, but You ignore earnings. You don't look at earnings reports. You have no idea what's happening in the market. You have no idea when your covered calls or your cash secured puts are expiring. You're just going out there and shooting blind. You're going to get burned at some point. Maybe you haven't been burned yet, but you're going to be burned. You got to pay attention to earnings. Listen, I was that way too. Listen, some of us, we're working. We got this stuff we're doing on the side. We're spending time with family. Like, yeah, a lot of us don't have necessarily time. It doesn't take you a lot of time. It doesn't take you a lot of time, guys. Like, please stop. This strategy isn't designed to, we're not, drawing candlesticks. We're not day trade. I don't even say, listen, if you ask me, am I a trader? I'm going to tell you flat to your face, no, I am not a trader. I would never introduce myself to somebody as a trader. I'm I guess you could say a shorter term investor, but I am not a trader. I don't trade every day. I do not trade every day. I trade a few times a week, and I'm happy to sit on my hands. Some of you just got to get that itch, right? More power to you. Good luck with that, right? I'm not, right? But with that said, it's important for you to understand your core watch list. Listen, once you've developed a strategy and you know what your targets are and what you're going for, you start developing over many years of time, a core watch list, 5 to 10 stocks that are your babies. Listen, if I talked crap about that company, you're going to come at me hard. You're going to be, you have no idea what you're talking about. I love this company, blah, 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 right? You just develop that core watch list for yourself. Some of you will literally ask in the comments, what should my watch list stocks be? Love you for tuning in. I love that you're educating yourself here, but you've already lost. And for the love of God, please go educate yourself. I don't want you guys losing money. That's the last thing I want here. But you lose money when you're asking for watch lists and stuff. No, you need to go develop it, right? You develop your watch list over time. Maybe you only have one stock that you really like right now, and you educate yourself on it. You follow the earnings. You make sure your covered calls, cash secured puts aren't expiring around their earnings date. Why would we care about that? Well, because IV is high during earnings week. It's insanity what can happen. How many times have we seen NVIDIA, right? Double beat earnings, but guess what? Those earnings just weren't good enough, right? No, not to investors, not to Wall Street. It wasn't good enough. And then it sinks 10%, right? Imagine you had your cash secure put expiring that day. You just got a sign, fam. Right? So this is why it's important to this isn't something that's going to take you hours of your life, but like before you open a position, be like, oh, you know what? I'll go to earningshub.com and just type my thing in, or type my thing in, my ticker symbol, and then I'll just see what the expiration date is. Okay, that one, that's why these premiums so good. It's juiced up, right? Because it's expired. See, you're now taking it a little bit more. You're taking it to another level a little bit. Can't stress this how many times weird things happen during earnings week. I've been burned on cash secured puts and covered calls. Not only on earnings week, earnings next week. Right? Because there's something that's called IV crush the following week because everything's juiced up, right? We juiced, right, on the earnings week, and then things start kind of going back to normal. So we have something called IV crush. So try to avoid the week of earnings, right? Or the week after, or don't do it. I don't care, right? So it's your choice. Next thing, right, is ignoring your ex-dividend dates. Listen, quad option strategy is my life right now. If you don't know what quad option strategy is, we basically are combining 4 sources of income into a strategy, right? Cash secured puts premiums, covered call premiums, dividends that we're collecting from the stocks, and then appreciation sales. I call that quad options. Listen, we might have to quintuple it or whatever the word is, because we're also now collecting cash secured put uninvested capital in our brokerage accounts. Okay, depending on broker, I think Fidelity and then obviously Robinhood does it. I think you have to be on gold. I'm not getting sidetracked. We might have to call it quintuple or whatever the thing is, or quant, whatever it is, bro. So listen, you can't ignore your ex-dividend dates, especially on your covered calls. Okay, you want to own the stock before the ex-dividend date, so you actually get the dividend. How do I find the ex-dividend date? How do I do this? Right? You just literally go just like one step, like type it into Google, figure it out, go to Yahoo Finance, and go look where it says ex-dividend date. And this topic came up from in our private group here. Obviously, May 12th, and we were just talking about some strategies around that. So obviously, you would need to own that today, right? So we're just talking strategy on, hey, is it worth closing it out so I can capture the dividend, or do I just let it go? Weird things can happen. This is how sometimes you get called out early on things, okay? Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget, drop a comment for the leveraged ETF playbook. I will send that to every single person that comments down below. And also, if you're somebody that wants a more handheld approach on this, the 1-year-long incubator program that I have might be something that interests you. That link will be down below in the description of today's video. So make sure to go check that out, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I will see y'all tomorrow.